Hey, Sarah, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Fatboy. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm liking the denim look.
Oh, thank you. I love denim, especially denim dresses. They're very easy to wear.
Wow.
You don't have to iron.
Wow.
You know, right?
You just wash and wear.
You just wash and wear.
Oh, my gosh. That is so cool. You're killing us.
Thank you.
And I bet you have a hot story for us today.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I bet you have already heard about this. Well, Mr. Frank Gashumba is trending on social media. Well, he and his daughter Sheila Gashumba are trending on social media. And this is after a 10-minute audio was leaked to social media. And he was basically talking about how he's very displeased with the life choices that Sheila is making. But before I go any further, here's the audio. We're not going to play. We don't have 10 minutes to listen, but we're just going to listen to it in part.
Okay, let's go.
You told me
God's
something that stuck into my mind.
Remember God's plan?
Wampa story was it Rhino Rich oyo muyimbi bwe yana challenge ne muwala we bwe bamubuuza n'agamba nti yeki yakola. He left the gate at his residence open. Omwana wali yagalira okudda nadda. That's what I did to Sheila.
Okay.
Sheila atuuka atya okusula mu ntebe mu kookyezi z'abantu watalina wakusula nga yereka ekisenge kiwana kyenva namupiikinga ku kayeeni. She can tell you that story. Nemukomyawo wanawaka. Of course mu maaso gange yali aswadde, but I'm a parent.
Ooh.
I also consult widely. Nyana akatabo kendi mu kusoma kakati ngenda kakuweereza nako kakwata ku families. Every book that I've read about, like, defend your son or your daughter in public. Blast her or him in privacy. Omwana wo mu defending mu public bwe mudda waka galawo ekisenge oturning into a lion. Be hard on him or her. Ojulira kyengezaako okukola.
Well, look how that turned out.
This is wrong.
Wow. Okay. So that's the
and
viral audio.
Yes, and it goes on and on and on. It's 10 minutes long. He also talks about her poor choice in friends and boyfriends. He goes on to say that her spending habits, her financial spending habits are really bad, and she is not investing as she should. All the money she gets, she's blowing it on parties and, on drinking and alcohol and on people. He also goes on to say that she has been very disrespectful with him, and he's very, of course, hurt because he has sacrificed so much, to raise her, as a father, single father. He also went on to also express how very disappointed he was with her to get a tattoo on her butt. He alleges that she got a tattoo on her butt. And then he went on to say it's not appropriate. I'm just paraphrasing here. It's not appropriate, and she shouldn't be more or less, what's the word? Degrading her body by getting tattoos and things like that.
Yeah, and she just keeps piling those tattoos on. Let's not forget she previously tattooed her boyfriend's name on her body.
She covered that up. It was God's plan's name, and then she later covered it up.
And then she's got other tattoos, and and the one on her butt is of a machine gun, right?
Yeah. Now he also goes on to say that he also went to point out that her lover, her boyfriend, is Rickman, right? Yeah,
right.
She's dating Rickman. That he has her wrapped around his finger, and he even drives her car. And he goes on to say that he has no respect for him, calls him a thug, and says that how can she be dating a man who can't even buy a car for himself?
And I was just mentioning to Olive earlier because, she also was showing sympathy for Frank. I feel like, in a way, he dug his own grave.
How so?
Because he groomed her into a life of entertainment and showbiz, which is a very hollow and shallow life. And so why should he be surprised that she enjoys the company of equally superfluous, hollow people?
No, I don't think so. And yes, he did groom her into a life of entertainment. And he did manage her career in the beginning. But when he did manage her career in the beginning, she was, associated with notable brands. And, she was going in basically the same direction, as if following the same footsteps that the likes of Flavia Tumsime were going in. You understand? So she's
Why do people keep comparing her to
It's
Flavia?
not a comparison. It is an example.
A different class.
It was an example, but she has now decided to take her own route, and he's not happy about that. And he also goes on to mention that he asked her for her contracts with NBS, with ChopLife, and all these other people that she keeps on working with, and she just keeps on, beating around the bush and not giving it to him. And he's concerned that she is not what's the word? Her career is not
underselling herself. She's
not going to progress in her career, and she's going to just end up getting exploited and wasted.
But with all due respect, and to Frank, who is my friend, I feel like whatever this thing that Sheila is doing, if you want to call it a career, fine. But unfortunately, her claim to fame is just being a slay queen. She's not known to be...
It has turned into that. It didn't start out that way.
She's not known to be a particularly gifted orator or speaker or... Because as you brought up Flavia, I'm sure everyone's thinking to themselves, yeah, but Flavia is intelligent. We listen to her on radio and on TV. She read the news. She has her YouTube channel where she dispenses wisdom and advice to women. They just seem to be cut from a different cloth. Whereas for, what's her name? Sheila, it's hard to point to anything that's distinctively and uniquely hers that's of any value, aside from the fact that, hey, I'm this bad bitch who's out there partying and glamorous. I mean, that's all we know her for. Point me to something she does that's of any significance.
No, what I'm saying is that
what's her talent?
When she started out, it was, supposed to be going in that, in a more positive direction.
Right.
But then she has slowly and quickly diverted to what we now know her for. Always, throwing insults at people on social media and partying and drinking and throwing money around. That is what she has become. And that is what Mr. Frank Gashumba is, very worried about. And to be honest, I do sympathize with him, but there's nothing he can do about that situation.
But
all he can do is just hope and pray that when she actually gets some sense into her head, it won't be too late for her to, start all over. Do you get what I mean?
What do you think is the trajectory of her career? Like, if Frank's concerns are valid, what's the risk here?
They are definitely very valid.
Where do you think she's going to end up? Do you think she's very quickly going to become irrelevant? And lose value and lose marketability.
You see, I think
she's very famous.
Infamous is the word. There's a difference between being famous and then there's being infamous, because she's not liked. She's
what do you
really
mean she's not liked?
Do you ever?
She has hundreds of thousands of followers.
She does, but
her TikTok is on fire.
I understand, but do you ever stop to read the comments under her posts?
Yeah, but
there's a lot of negativity as opposed to positivity on it.
Kind of like Cardi B.
She's not likable.
Even Cardi B, people are clowning her all the time in her socials.
But she gets like equal measure of love. With Sheila Gashumba, I think for every... she has way more negative comments than she has, positive ones.
Okay, so in your opinion, because some people might say, as long as it's attention, whether it's positive or negative, it's a good thing. Because some people enjoy watching a train wreck, right? They like watching disaster. They like, I guess, morbid curiosity. They just keep following her to see who she's going to fight with next and what controversy she's going to get into. And that ends up with her increasing her followership and more. She gets more
but it's not going to be sustainable.
And more engagement.
It's not
you would think that would make her marketable.
It's not going to be sustainable. Which brands do you think are going to want to work with somebody who is chaotic like that?
You don't think they'd be willing to look past that?
Again, I ask the question, which brands do you think would want to be associated with that kind of chaos? We have seen a lot of brands go on, even international brands. The minute you start acting a certain funny type of way, they're going to cancel you and, drop your contract with them and partnership. So it is not sustainable. Right now, it's okay because she's young and hip and whatnot, but you cannot continue to go in that direction. Look at Zari, for instance. Also, when Zari first started out, she, got a lot of hate. She was always in the negative, always viewed in the negative light. But now she has the Zara we know today is not the Zara we knew like maybe 10 years ago.
I understand that, but I feel like this is a very strange issue because a lot of times the people that attract a lot of attention are those firebrands and controversial people. Like the people that are the sweet darlings and sweet angels, they're very nice and wholesome, but they don't get a lot of attention. People like to follow controversy, and if you are a company or like you have a bar or restaurant and you want someone to say influence for you, wouldn't you want the person whose everyone's eyeballs are on?